We're going to continue with our Words of the Master Part 1, Lesson 002, Powers of Reconciliation. We began now with Part 6 in our support of Lesson 002. We talked to you in our last lesson about love energy. Love energy. And we can probably just add energies here. Love energy, Energies, because that's what we're talking about. Love energies. We said there were three kinds: sex, love, and prayer. We covered in our last lesson the love energy of sex as a part of reconciliation. And we said that it's a natural phenomenon of human beings when bodies meet, that you have a certain amount of reconciliation of the body, one body toward another body. This was our little male man and female. And we said that sex brings joy, it's satisfying, it's thrilling, it's exciting, it's relaxing, it's calming as well. But one of its shortfalls, if you want to call it that, is it's temporary. It's short term. It sort of takes up one room of the palace or the porch of our body, so to speak. But it's a great dance. It provides a great embrace, moments of ecstasy. But you can't melt or merge two bodies into one. So even though it may feel like that at the time of the relationship. Then we moved from looking at sex to love, the reconciliation of love. Another way we could talk about this reconciliation of two minds meeting as opposed to two bodies. And of course we said that this was psychological energy. Love is definitely higher, it's deeper, and it's greater. But one of the phenomenons of it is that the sexual relationship or feelings start disappearing. They start disappearing, but as they disappear, you get a higher reconciliation, as was demonstrated by our little arrow moving higher and higher and higher here. Whereas for sex, the arrow goes higher, but not that high. It's the lowest form of reconciliation. The second highest form of reconciliation is the reconciliation of love or minds coming together. We said you get higher reconciliation, greater contentment, greater satisfaction, and a more lasting joy. Now we're going to move to the third, which is the power of prayer, which brings us to where we want to be today in our subject matter. Let's move over here and take a look at more closely at the third reconciliation energy or love energy, and that is what I call the state, S-T-A-T-E, of love energy found in prayer. As we had in the previous lesson, our little stick man here, stick man and woman, well, it's not here, and we give him a little smiley face as well, give him a little body. Here we go. And what we see here is a melting immersion, because the phenomenon of prayer affects the oneness of both men and women, or male and female. And we see the reconciliation of prayer having a totally different effect, because we got souls involved with prayer. And it's sort of like a sort of a reconciliation between soul and existence. So it'd be soul to soul of existence. And when we say existence, we could be talking about God, nature, the universe, or in general, that could cover almost anything and everything that this phenomenon of existence comes in. Like the love, the sex energy disappearing in the reconciliation of love. In this particular case, the love energy begins to move higher, or it disappears in prayer. It disappears in prayer. Obviously, because you're relating now to the universe as a whole. And we're going to give you some terms here that we want you to pay careful attention to as we begin to focus here on the power of prayer as a reconciliation of ourselves to God. And we're going to see as we take a look here. Let's look at the first one, the first term. We'll call it eros, Greek word for attraction or sexual energy as it pertains to love. And then we're going to use the word philos, Phila. And the third word is agape, Agape, Greek accent. And then the other word is what we call storge, Storge. All of these are Greek words. These are all Greek words, or Latin, but mostly Greek. And we're going to talk about all the meaning of all these words. Let's look at eros first. This corresponds with the three reconciliations we've been talking about. Eros then would be represented by sexual energy. It also would be represented by attraction. You also could be represented by passion. Sensual pleasure. Or desire. And then you can look at longing. Philos, you can just basically look at friendship here, like Philadelphia. Philadelphia. Let's get that in here. Friendship, Friendship. And another word would be brotherly love. And this could also occur when you're talking about dating as a precursor to a much deeper relationship. Dating. We'll just put that in parentheses here. Then we go on over here to agape. Agape would be, we probably could use, it means unconditional love. Let's give it another color. Conditional love. And basically, here we are talking about, and most of you are familiar with 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter, that talked about the love of Christ, or the love of God. Let's look at the word stooge. this would be, let's draw a line so we don't confuse the two here. And let's look at stooge. Stooge is sort of a natural affection. For children, your children, in a family. Also, the relationship between your children and a family situation. So we got all kinds of love over here. We got eros, we got philos, we got agape, and we got storge. These are the four kinds of love. But there's one more that I think the translation left out, and that translation is the word agapo. A-G-A-P-A-O. Agapo. Now, we'll take a look at agapo, and it means prayer or compassion. And this is the kind of love that we think that Jesus was talking about, and this is the reconciliation that we believe, and of course this being the highest. Let's draw our arrow here, and we can take the arrow all the way down. This is the highest form of love, or the energy of love in existence. And it's the love that allows us to reconcile with even people that we don't even care for, or that have done us wrong, or that we've done wrong. This means a state of love. Versus, or as opposed to, a relationship. Of love. Those of you, and I recommend it to you, if you read in the book of John, the last chapter in the book of John, the 21st chapter, verses 15 through 17. And in that chapter, Jesus asked Peter 3 times, "Do you love me?" But the translation of the word love in the Greek, from the Greek, was agapo, not agape. And a lot of people confuse the two. Jesus was asking Peter, "Do you love me?" And it was obviously symbolic of our 3 stages of love. He asked the question 3 times, sex, love, and prayer. But he really was asking each time in agape, "Do you love me?" as a state of love. And that state of love is the highest state. That state of love leads to reconciliation. It's not a relationship. It's love for the whole, love for everyone and anyone. Whereas you have eros, philos, and agape, all 3 of these are relationships. But agapo, which is the translation for what Jesus was saying to Peter, following Peter having denied him 3 times, and as you know, at the very end of the book of John, this was Jesus' appearance to the disciples after the resurrection, and you can see where he was trying to make clear to them that he was talking about agapo, which is a very, which I think that we're making our point here that everything, when we talk about the powers of reconciliation, we're talking about a state of love and it becomes that leads to a state of reconciliation. And this makes a big difference in terms of our subject matter. If you remember, the three powers of reconciliation was remembrance, the power of forgiveness, and we talked about the power of unconditional love. But we're updating that to say that not just unconditional love, but agape, compassion for someone who have harmed you, or compassion for yourself as you seek to overcome what may have been done to you. So we want to update our previous lesson and insert this word as a critical component. Jesus was talking about a relationship. We encourage you to go back and read this text, and you'll see the difference that one word makes. And as you think about reconciliation, don't think about it in terms of someone having done something to you or you having done something to yourself. Just think about it as a state, a relationship of love that exists apart from a relationship itself, but as a state of being. And I think that if we look at it as a state of beingness in connection with the universe, in connection with God, it would give us a greater clarification on what it takes to experience the powers of reconciliation.